So, welcome to another vlog. Today we are driving this Honda Mevilio 2015. So, let's start driving. Turning on the car. AC on 1 because it's making a lot of noise. Putting it into the first gear. Let's start driving. Okay, so it has a nice pull and punch. At a iVTEC motor hits in after 4000 RPM. Turning off the hazard light. The ride quality is decent enough. Okay. The body roll also is well contained. Okay, the engine makes a lot of noise, which doesn't feel sporty or kind of good to ears to hear that noise when you are revving the engine, because it's coming from engine, it's not from the exhaust, which feels nice. Steering mounted controls to operate that system, that multimedia system. So braking is not short-footed, and it doesn't also has ABS, no airbags, no ABS. So lack of safety features. But it's decent enough for an MPV. Okay, so here is the bad road. Let's check how the suspension reacts to it. Okay, so lot of bad road. Okay, so it is gliding through bad roads. Nothing was felt inside. There were quite large footholes there, quite large due to rains and all, and the roads are also kind of wet, but this drives decently enough. Amazing. Okay, braking is nice, not that short-footed, but provides you enough confidence to brake in extreme situations, and it makes a quite of a nosedive because suspension is soft. Let's talk about the engine. So it is a Honda's famous iVTEC engine, which is 1.5 liter petrol engine with a displacement of 1500 cc, which I already told you in the previous video, and it produces a max power of 143 bhp at 6600 rpm, which is a lot because you have to rev the engine all together to the red line, extract its max power. So I don't know how they set this much high revving point for the extract the max power out of it, but it produces a torque of 145 Nm at 4600 rpm. Okay, so so the length of the car kind of feels somewhere. Okay, it is a long car, 4.45 meters or 4 approximately. Let's extract the max torque at 4600 rpm, and it's making a lot of noise. I can't hear that noise for long, sorry. Okay, so it is not a car to be pulled hard and fast. It's driving smoothly at 1 to 2 RPM. And headlights. Okay. So now it is showing me the eco light, because I am driving smoothly. When I was pulling it hard and fast, it was not showing me the eco light. So it's kind of funky feature here, provided by Honda. So we will make a downshift. Okay, let's talk about the gearbox. The gearbox gives you a feel that you are shifting. It's not the slickest. I don't know in the segment, but in the brands, it is not the slickest. I have not driven Ertiga, but we will be shortly driving Ertiga. And let's check what's the difference between its earlier competitor. And steering motor controls to control that. System, this is controlled from here, which has nothing to control as such, just the mileage, the odometer, and one trip meter. So this car is nice enough to drive. The steering provides a nice feel and feedback and lower speed, and it's easy to park because it's super light. And rear view mirrors also provide a decent view. This mirror is not auto dimming, of course. Here is the light reading lamp. The reading lamp is also at the rear. So decent amount of features according to a car of this age. And so now we are on an empty road, but I am not able to extract the best power out of it. It's making so much noise. And the horn is also very bad. The horn is not nice. See, it's kind of feels it's a horn of Maruti 800. Honda should have not done any cost cutting here. It's a big car, not that big, but a long car. You should have provided a nice horn at least. I think they provide it now. So ergonomic wise, this car has everything in reach. The AC controls are also very simple and uncomplicated. So ergonomic wise, it's all in reach. One few steering mounted controls, which is easier to not distract you while you are driving and setting the volume from here. Okay, so let's do the audio test. So the audio is not that good. It's just enough to listen music in the car while driving on long routes and not getting bored. So at higher speeds, it feels kind of stable. So at higher speeds, there is body roll. The car's length shows up at that time that you are driving a long car, a 7-seater, so you don't have to make sharp turns at all. But there is body roll. And higher speed stability is decent enough. There is not much to check here. Okay, let's check the braking now. Braking is decent enough. Why this biker came from my right side and went to left? Brainless log. So according to on paper, this car takes 16 seconds to get from 0 to 100, and in 16 seconds I don't know how many cars will pass this car. So it is a It is not that fast, but it is comfortable enough. Like in second row, there is a lot of space, and third row there is the space which is required to punish children. Okay, so I always feel punished when I used to sit in third row when going on vacation or trips, on road trips. Okay, so a lot of bad roads, tire noises coming in, but because it is an old car, the suspension tuning gets a little bit, सस्पेंशन ट्यूनिंग थोड़ी बहुत हिल जाती है, टायर्स पुराने हो जाते हैं, चैसी में से वो नई वाली जो एक स्टिफनेस होती है, नया वाला एक कंफर्ट होता है, वो थोड़ा कम हो जाता है कार की एज के साथ. स्टिल इट इज़ एक्टिंग क्वाइट नाइस एंड it feels confident at higher speeds. Like we are on 70 and we are still on 70. Okay, so acceleration is a bit of an issue. If you want to pass a car, you have to make a downshift. You can't shift in upper gears. You can't pass in upper gears. It's because acceleration gets quite low. See, its max power, its max torque is at 4,600 rpm. So how can it extract that pull and that punch in the lower end, like 2 or 3 rpm? And till the point we reach to its max torque, engine is making so much noise. This is the first time I'm not able to extract the max torque. Like in one more car I didn't extract the max torque, but that was a different case. But in this car I am just failing to extract the max torque and the max power. It's just making a lot of struggle to rev high and fast. This nature from the beginning, I'm not sure. I have to talk to the owner of this car to ensure that whether it's the age of the car which is affecting the power delivery, or the car was like this from the beginning as well. Okay, so I figured out why there was lag in power delivery of Honda Mobilio. It was due to CNG, because the car is currently running on CNG, which is aftermarket. That's why there was lag in power delivery. Otherwise, on petrol, it provides you a decent amount of power and torque. With the actual power and torque actually comes while driving on petrol. Okay, so let's get back to the vlog. Let's talk about visibility. Visibility is nice enough. You get a good view of what's coming behind you from the rear view mirrors. The mirrors don't feel small at all. They are decently sized, the rear view mirrors, as well as the IRVM, ORVM. And the visibility is also nice because the hood of the car is kind of small, dashboard is big. So you get a nice idea, and you can easily maneuver among traffic and in parking situations. Because the hood is small, so you can get a very nice idea out of it. Shift. Okay, the ride quality is nice, really nice. A car of this age, tire noise is there, but you don't feel the potholes inside, like you are shaking and moving all over the place and कि पूरे हिल गए गड्ढों से, वो feeling नहीं आती. Okay, so there again the big hole there. Okay, so there was a very big hole there, so we cannot test the ride quality there. The car will get stuck there, or the floor of the car will get rugged over there, so forget about that. So the 3-spoke steering wheel feels nice enough. So there is a mesh thing here, I don't know why it is, okay, but it is there. I already told you this wooden finish is aftermarket. Not aftermarket as such, they were opted as an accessory while buying this car. It doesn't come with stock interior, but the wooden finish kind of enhances the feel of the interior, provides you a feeling of luxury, but it has aged without a doubt, and Honda has discontinued this car, which I really want back as a competitor for Ertiga, because currently there are very less competitor for Ertiga. The Innova Crysta is priced on the expensive side, and Ertiga is kind of alone in the race. There is Triber, Renault Triber is there, but I think Mobilia should come back with a next generation, with a nice looks, a more powerful engine, and a little bit more comfortable, and Honda should shock everybody by giving nice comfort at the third row, because no one gives that. But Honda is going to do nothing according to me, or what I'll say, because I don't know Honda's CEO. Acceleration is not that good. Braking is decent. It makes decent amount of nosedive. The clutch is light. The clutch doesn't feel heavy. Steering also gains, not that weight that you will give you, amazing feeling of feel and feedback that you are making crazy turns, crazy lane changes on higher speeds. Not that weight. See, there is a little bit of play, which is not moving the car at all. So steering gives you decent amount of feel and feedback, not that, because it is not, the car has not focused on performance at all. It's just about driving comfort, which is also nice, which is nice enough. Just the safety features are missing, unfortunately. Okay, so this much for the vlog. This car used to have decent amount of variants on offer, like I think there were 4 for petrol and 4 for diesel with the ID Tech engine, and both the engines are nice. Honda has made amazing petrol engines since that time they have begun. So it's a nice car. It was priced at from around 7.69 lakhs and goes to 11.86 lakhs. Decently priced car at its time, but now there is only Ertiga and Triber. This much for the vlog. Thanks for watching the vlog. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at @PrathamArora22, and don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the bell icon.